Hello, this is our investor pitch for EcoBus Kampala. EcoBus Kampala presents a viable and sustainable alternative which involves a fleet of high-capacity, zero-emission electric buses operating on fixed routes within the Central Business District, also known as the CBD. This helps mitigate the public transportation challenges that Uganda's capital city faces, such as chronic traffic congestion, excessive fuel consumption, and severe air pollution. As policymakers have been pushing to reduce congestion and emissions, EcoBus Kampala caters to the city's demand for cleaner and more efficient transportation. EcoBus's target market includes daily commuters, government employees, corporate professionals, students, and tourists who all travel within the CBD. The direct competitors are the current matatu buses, which are highly inefficient and are not designed for an environmentally sustainable future. Some substitutes are Safe Boda and Uber Boda, which provide individual transportation but are at a higher cost and have no impact on the congestion problem.
EcoBus Kampala is transforming urban transportation by introducing high-capacity, zero-emission electric buses. Our value chain is built around certain key areas: vehicle procurement through international manufacturers, establishing a robust charging infrastructure, delivering reliable and efficient public transit, collaborating with policymakers for regulatory support, and enhancing the customer experience with digital ticketing and real-time tracking. Our strategy combines cost leadership and differentiation, making a blue ocean strategy. By working with the Kampala Capital City Authority, we aim to establish a low emission zone, reducing competition from fuel-powered matatus. We provide a superior customer experience, offering scheduled routes, digital payments, and a comfortable ride. Electric buses also have a lower operating cost, which allows us to pass savings to our commuters. Additionally, strategic public-private partnerships will strengthen our competitive edge and ensure long-term sustainability. EcoBus is not just a transport solution, it's a step towards a cleaner, more efficient Kampala.
Yolanda Valenzuela worked on this slide. The question is, which is the sustainable business model is this based on? The sustainable business model for the EcoBus Kampala is based on several key elements, as these elements collectively create a sustainable business model that leverages policy support, cost efficiencies, and consumer preferences for structured efficiency and environmentally friendly public transit. The EcoBus Kampala sustainable business model would be based on the following: air quality, fuel, zero emissions, and climate changes. Energy efficiency, as it is designed with the EVs and optimized battery and does not use or require any fuel. Circular economy practices such as battery recycling and reuse, which also reduces waste and environmental impact on the environment. Focuses on renewable energy, minimizing the reliance on fuels and fossil fuels as well. Environmentally friendly, as it is powered by renewable energy.
Major supply chain and impacts and mitigation strategies. The high investment needed for electric buses and charging facilities is a major supply chain hurdle since Uganda depends on imports for these systems. The company will establish partnerships with international manufacturers and implement leasing agreements to decrease these initial costs. The performance of lithium-ion batteries decreases gradually until their end-of-life stage, which requires companies to put in place appropriate disposal methods. The company will implement partnerships with battery manufacturers for both recycling and second-life battery usage. The unreliable power grid situation in Uganda is a potential challenge for electric bus operations. However, sustainable investments in solar-powered charging stations will present a solution to address this challenge. Moreover, the establishment of local assembly partnerships will decrease importation delays and logistical problems, which will ensure better operational efficiency while lowering dependency on international suppliers.
Assuming that we start with a fleet of 10 buses, each bus makes about 10 trips a day with an average of 30 passengers each trip, with 30 days in a month and a flat fare of $1 per trip. We should see a monthly revenue of about $90,000. Annual revenue being $1,080,000. Each bus added to the fleet will generate an additional $9,000 a month, $108,000 annually. So our cost of goods sold includes electricity and maintenance cost, with the average electricity cost of 13 cents per kilowatt hour in Uganda. It will cost about $45 a day per bus. A 10 bus fleet comes out to roughly $162,000 annually. Maintenance for 10 buses is about $24,000 annually. So total COGS comes to about $186,000. This is annually. Now, having the revenue and the total cost of goods sold, we can calculate our gross margin, taking the total annual revenue minus the total annual COGS divided by the annual revenue, and we get a gross margin of about 82.77%.
EcoBus Kampala operates on a structured financial model with a focus on sustainability and efficiency. Our fixed costs include bus leasing or purchasing agreements, charging infrastructure setup, regulatory compliance, and staff salaries for drivers, maintenance crews, and administrative teams. These are essential to keeping operations running smoothly. For our working capital, the business requires a steady cash flow to cover daily expenses such as electricity for charging stations, fleet maintenance, digital ticketing system operations, and marketing efforts to drive ridership. Additionally, to support growth, we need capital for fleet expansion, new route development, and partnerships with corporate clients and policymakers. A rough estimate suggests that keeping EcoBus running requires substantial upfront investment, but with lower operating costs than fuel-powered alternatives, long-term savings will drive profitability. Securing funding from investors, development grants, and government incentives will be key to ensuring smooth scaling and financial sustainability.
Yolanda Valenzuela worked on this slide, and the question is, where does it come from and what does it cost? Government funding and loans. Government funding loans would be our first option to look at, as there are a variety of different loans as well as the French Development Agency, AFD, as they have been able to previously fund infrastructure projects in Kalampa. Grants and development. As different development and international organizational agencies provide grants and aid for sustainable development and environmentally friendly projects. Operational revenues, the EcoBus would be able to generate revenue with their ticket sales, advertising, and other services. APP, public and private partnerships, being able to create a partnership and collaborate with private sectors in order to receive financing for the project and operational costs. Sponsorship and investments. Sponsorship and investment funding would be from various companies that would be interested in going and promoting green initiatives, and that may be interested in investing in the project to help provide additional funding.
Confidence in the success of the business is highly reliant on the team that we have, a reliable team. One, our CEO is a transport policy expert and an ex-KCCA advisor. KCCA is the Kampala Capital City Authority. And so this is an ex-KCCA advisor on matters transport policy, and he has excelled very well in regulator navigation. And then our CTO, James Ryland, is an electrical engineer, an EV specialist, and drives tech implementation in the company. And then Michelle is a logistics guru and an ex-matatu or minibus, the fleet manager in Kampala, Nairobi. And so this one will ensure operational efficiency of the EcoBus system that we want to introduce. And David Mwamba is a green finance expert. So this one will help in securing funding and optimize costs for the business. With this diverse skill set and in both policy, technology, operations, and finance, we believe this would enable EcoBus to fully be successful over time.
The most expensive investment are the buses, with each one costing about $250,000. If we want a fleet of 10, that comes to about $2.5 million. The charging infrastructure costing about $300,000. Operational working capital setup cost at $200,000 each for a total investment of $3.2 million. Looking at a revenue and gross model, you can expect to have an ROI of about 25% in 5 years. Thank you for your time.